Hi, welcome to Quantum Talk, and I'm Lisa. The big question: how do you get to that place of pure consciousness, right? How do you get to that place of alignment with the quantum field? How are you not determined by the habitual agreements and conditioning of the matter in which you live? We came from an understanding of the world through Newtonian physics where everything was cause and effect for a really long time. And that all made sense in a macro world, but in a micro world, we found with quantum that stuff's crazy. We started to study atoms and the small particles that make them up. We started to notice that, oh my gosh, this doesn't really make much sense. It doesn't follow cause and effect. There's no rhyme or reason. It's kind of spooky. What does this all mean? When we look at an electron, for instance, and it's been entangled with another electron, and we witness one and see the spin of it, instantaneously the other will spin in the opposite direction. This information is traveling faster than the speed of light outside of space and time. Wow. Now we're realizing that we are actually existing in a world that is existing in a state of potential, and it's determined by our witnessing of it. When we look at that, we understand that now information is able to travel outside of our third dimensional understanding. It's in this unified quantum field of potential. And a unified quantum field is where things get the most interesting. So if we, being made of now what we understand to be quantum matter, matter that at its very core is in a state of potential, you are aligned with that state of limitless potential. That's the energy, that's the stuff that creates world. That's the energy that most efficiently affects matter. And it does so outside of space and time. Oh my God, it's so crazy. What can I do with that? And is it even possible for me to wield that? Yes, because you are conscious. You have a separation between your mind and your body. There's something else that is self-aware. So essentially, when we become aligned with our pure conscious awareness, we're in awareness that is outside of space and time, naturally, in a body of matter that exists at its core in a unified quantum field of infinite potential. So that conscious awareness paired with that unified quantum field, suddenly it's limitless potential. And conscious alignment with infinite potential is like, oh my God, I am a wizard. I am Gandalf. This is amazing. Lots of potential, lots of power, lots of healing, lots of your true self. When you step into that quantum state, you're no longer bound by cause and effect. You're no longer bound by Newtonian physics. You're understanding the quantum realm. So from that place, you're able to let go and let the system do what it needs to do. The goal is to get to that wholeness, because when you're in unification with the quantum field, with all that is and nothing at the same time, in complete interdependence, you are functioning in a state of wholeness. You're whole with everything. You are nothing and everything. Your body is working in alignment. You are in alignment. Your mind is in alignment. Everything is balanced. There's no stress. And you're starting to stimulate and exercise parts of your mind that maybe were dormant before. You're starting to create connection that was not able to happen across points of your brain that were not in connection before. And you're able to exercise all those pathways. Now you can go and use them more often. The more you practice that state, the more you're able to achieve that state, because the more you're creating the potential of a new network, and the more you have the new potential to live in that state consistently. So we'll go a little Eastern for a second, because this is not a new concept. This has been talked about for thousands of years. We are just finally giving it scientific names, and we're finally able to get to it in kind of the language of today. And so in the older languages of Eastern religions and beliefs and practices, this state is called samadhi, the state of being one with everything and nothing at the same time, this state of going into infinite, limitless potential, this quantum field. This state is samadhi. And when you achieve samadhi in your meditation, It's great. I mean, when I do it, it's like I feel like my feet are thousands of miles below me and my head is like really, really, really up tall. I feel like a giant and I have no real desire. I have complete peace with everything. My heart opens up. I feel all this love. Everything is so great. And I am not distracted with the stresses and the memories of my past. I'm not trying to project any future. I'm just like in it and floating, and it's great. It's not that difficult to achieve. You just have to meditate on the idea of it. Why does that work? Because when you meditate, you're focusing on something. And when you're focusing on something, you're creating those pathways in your mind, right? So if you want to stop firing the memories of pain and struggle and lack, then start focusing on the opposite, and you'll start creating those neurological pathways that then support that information to be communicated between your neurons in your brain. And the more that you do it, the more that you set that, the more that you exercise that conversation, the more it will happen, the faster it will happen, the easier it will happen. When you meditate on that state of samadhi, of being one with everything, of interdependence, of peace, right? And you let go of the past and the future, you are just going into that state and exercising how to get there more and more and more and easier and easier and easier. So when you achieve samadhi, the more you're in it, the more you get to it, the easier it is for you to get there. And you will no longer need to do it in a state of like what you imagine meditation to be, sitting in lotus pose with your eyes closed and all of that. You'll be able to get there with external stimulus, with experiences and information coming at you from the outside world. You'll be able to get there, right? You'll know what it feels like. You'll understand that state of oneness and that state of nothingness. You will let go of attachments. You will seek that in your waking life. When you achieve a state of samadhi consistently, not just in meditation, but consistently in your walking life, you have achieved a state of enlightenment. It's not so mystical and crazy. It's really science. So you just need to achieve samadhi in meditation, which is just focusing on it. Literally, your thoughts become things. Set your thoughts onto that thing and it will happen. You will create those neurological pathways. And then once you achieve it, practice it. Practice it in the easiest environment you can have, when you have your eyes closed in a relaxing state and in the same space and maybe even in the same clothes. Just practice getting there. And once you've gotten there like that, change your clothes, change the space, open your eyes, and then walk around. Do it with your eyes open outside, alone. Go on a nice walk, go on a hike, try and achieve samadhi for the hike the whole time. Then go with a friend, right? Go with somebody that's really exciting, entertaining, it smells good, and all these things, right? Right now, we're in a pandemic, so wear a mask and social distance unless they live in your household. But go with somebody else. It's going to be the most exciting thing, the thing that you want to meditate on, and still maintain samadhi. And it will be easier if you do it in steps like that, because you'll have practiced and set those neurological pathways in your mind. You'll have that already laid. You've done the foundational groundwork. So then it will be easy to achieve as you step up and up and up. When you achieve it in a consistent state, like I said, that is enlightenment. That is literally what enlightenment is. So you will be unified in that quantum field, in that consciousness, consistently in an enlightened state. From there, you are creating like a mad person. You're just going nuts. Why do I say mad specifically? Because it is insane. Nothing makes sense. It's not cause and effect. It's not sensical. It's not logical. It's spontaneous. It is spooky. It is exciting. There are no impossibilities. It's limitless, right? You can't explain it with words. It's unnamable. It is maddening. It's exciting and new and outside of the norm. That is the state. That is where you want to go. And it is not that hard to achieve. It just takes focus. It takes consistency. And it takes really understanding what it is you're seeking. Because if you know the goal, and you know how good it is, and you know what enlightenment actually, it's not some mysterious term. It is something scientifically achievable for you, not some guru, not some mystic, not some guy in a cave, but you, literally you, everyday people. It is achievable if you just put your mind to it, understand how the mechanics of your mind and body work, and how the world works in a quantum sense. Once you align with that unified field, once you do it in a consistent way where it becomes habitual, where you're then able to take it into situations where you're receiving information that can distract you out of it, then you're able to maintain a connection to it in a waking, active state. That state, you're able to set a desire that's been connected, that is in conversation with that infinite intelligence. And now your desires are more in line. Once you've maintained a state of samadhi, a state of enlightenment, if you're not at enlightenment yet, then at least you've plugged into that state, that samadhi state, right? That unification with the quantum field. You've started to make those connections with your neurons, right? You're able to connect and have the synapses required, right, to start to process and communicate informational waves that are going to support this higher understanding, this higher cognitive function, this cognitive healing, this body healing. Once you're able to get to that state, even if it's just in meditation, and even if it's once in a while, I mean, you're still making those connections. When you make a network of those neurons together, then you are supporting it every time you go into meditation and reach that state. And every time you reach that state and you go into nothingness and you're at a high enough vibration, you are healing yourself. You are able to reach that higher vibration more and more and more often. And when you're in that higher vibration, when you step back into cognitive function, but you have this new network supporting higher vibration, your cognitive function is at a whole nother level. Your ability to interpret the information from infinite intelligence is more out of this world, more into the quantum field. And you have this better alignment with the desire that you are receiving from the stars, from the universe, from source energy, from quantum potential. And if you look up the word desire, it means from the stars, right? So you're able to align with that quantum unified field, with that quantum energy, with that source energy, with God, with the unnamable one, with that limitless potential. Then you're able to manifest instantly. You're able to do that, but it's no longer your desire, right? You let go of yourself when you enter that field. You let go of that attachment. You become one with the limitless potential. So your desire is no longer selfishly driven. You've realized your true potential. You've realized your powerful self. You've connected with your core, which is that source energy. And the more you get there, the more you create that pathway, the more you fire the synapses between those neurons, the more you create a network, the more you support it, the faster it is to get there, the more you're able to sustain it despite the environmental triggerings that you have, even when you open your eyes, and then you're able to achieve enlightenment. And from enlightenment, you're able to manifest in time and space with that infinite connection and that infinite awareness. You're able to bridge the two at the super high vibration, and you're able to then play with it and just start to get into a really interesting, really exciting world. And that's the potential that you have because you are quantum matter that is conscious. That is what everybody has been talking about through all of these ages, through different languages and different religions and different ideas. So now we're in the language of science, so we might as well use some science to get back into the core of it so that we can realize it in our own lifetimes. And it doesn't take a mystic. You don't have to crawl into a cave to achieve it. You have the tools as you're made right now in the moment. All you have to do is pick them up and wield them. All you have to do is use them. All you have to do is put it into practice and repeat it and set it into habit, and then step into that enlightenment. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you for more as we talk quantum, as we relax and we de-stress and we find more opportunity to step into our true selves.